Hello, my name is Scott Cutler, and I'm a planner with the City of Wheat Ridge Community Development Department. This is case number PBG-21-02 and WS-21-06, a request for approval of a planned building group site plan and major subdivision in the Residential 3 Zone District. I'd like to enter into the public record the contents of the case file, the subdivision regulations, and this digital presentation. The properties within the City of Wheat Ridge and all appropriate notification and posting requirements have been met. Therefore, the Planning Commission has jurisdiction to hear this case. This is a 2020 aerial view of the property, which is outlined in red. It's about 1.9 acres in size and currently contains 4 single-family homes on almost half-acre lots each, which are double depth. It's located on the east side of Upham Street, midway between 38th and 44th Avenue. There's a mix of residential uses in the area, with a large apartment building to the north and more apartments to the west, single-family to the south, 1 home to the west, and then single-family further north on Upham Street. It's close to the 38th Avenue corridor, and the West 38 apartment building is located approximately 1 block to the southwest. The property is zoned Residential 3, as are all of the surrounding properties on Upham Street in this area. R3 allows multifamily and townhomes up to 12 units per acre. The school property to the east is zoned R2, as are the properties further north on Upham Street, which is lower density than R3. Properties further south on Upham Street towards 38th Avenue have mixed-use zoning, which is reflective of the commercial character and higher density character of the 38th Avenue corridor. The request is for a planned building group site plan under the existing R3 standards. A major subdivision is also required to sell each unit separately and to create common area tracts and easements. There will be 11 buildings for a total of 22 units. 6.5 to 26.5 feet of right-of-way will be dedicated on Upham Street to build public improvements, and the plat also dedicates access, utility, and drainage easements. A planned building group, or PBG, is a site plan with more than one proposed primary structure. Each residential building is considered a primary structure, and because there are 11 buildings proposed, a PBG site plan is required for review. PBGs with 4 or more buildings require approval from Planning Commission. Review of a site plan application allows staff to evaluate circulation for vehicles and pedestrians, access, parking, building layout, landscaping, and architecture. The site plan is reviewed under the existing R3 development standards, and the purpose of the review is to confirm compliance with the R3 zoning requirements. No variances, changes to the permitted uses, or changes to the zoning are allowed or proposed. The standards set forth in this site plan are binding, which means the applicant could not later increase building height or density. Subdivision regulations are found in Article 4 of the Zoning Code. A subdivision is a reconfiguration of lots, tracts, or parcels for sale or development. It can create, remove, or define property lines, and it allows the city to evaluate right-of-way, and allows the city to evaluate civil construction documents. A subdivision plat does not affect the zoning or permitted uses on the property. It enables development already permitted by the current R3 zoning and allows the developer to sell the dwelling units to individual buyers. This is the site plan showing all of the extents of the site. I've highlighted the locations of the buildings in blue. Upham Street is located on the west of the site and north is to the top. The site will be accessed from 2 points on Upham Street, creating a loop road through the site, allowing vehicle and pedestrian access to all dwelling. Each unit accommodates a 2-car garage, and there are also guest parking spaces on site. The 2 corner buildings also will have driveways to accommodate 4 additional cars, or 2 per unit. Public improvements, including a new sidewalk, curb, and gutter, will be built along Upham Street, and the street is being widened slightly on the site to accommodate on-street parking and enough space for passing on Upham. The proposed buildings comply with the perimeter setbacks required in R3, including a 25-foot setback on Upham Street and 15-foot setbacks on each side. The building coverage of 35% of the site is well under the 40% maximum for the R3 zone district, which leaves more room for open space. Each unit will have a private backyard, which is rare for multifamily developments, and a front porch. In addition, there are common landscaped areas, including a community garden at the central part of the site labeled in green. I'll show the landscaping plan on the next slide. Sidewalks are on both sides of the private drive with crosswalks to access the community garden and guest parking spaces. This is a detail of the landscape plan showing the proposed plantings and common areas, including the community garden. Street trees and shrubs will be planted in the yards along Upham Street. The site exceeds the minimum code requirements for total percentage of landscaping area. Each unit has a usable backyard that will be landscaped and fenced for privacy. The common open space areas provide space between the buildings and allow for gathering and pet walking. The community garden area acts as a central amenity for the site, with adjacent bike racks and guest parking. Each building will be 2 stories in height and approximately 26 to 27 feet to the midpoint of the roof. This is well below the city maximum of 35 feet. The site plan proposes 2 types of modern farmhouse buildings with a variety of elevation types. The street-facing elevations shown on the left of the screen have additional enhanced features, including wraparound front porches, stone wainscot and chimney detailing, large side windows, and window awnings. The front door of these units faces Upham Street, helping to enhance these elevations and activate the street. Each building, whether interior or along Upham Street, will have a front porch and private yard for each unit, a 2-car garage for each unit, and a variety of siding types and orientations with pitched roofs, gables, and window awnings. There are also 2 total building types with different orientations and special consideration for the street-facing units, which will provide visual variety throughout the development. The plat corresponds with the site plan and allows each unit to be sold separately, with each property owner controlling their private yard space. The common areas, including the drive aisles and common open spaces, are placed in tracts to be owned and maintained by the Homeowners Association. Tract A is shown in gray and includes the drive aisles, sidewalks, guest parking areas, and driveway spillover parking. Tracts B, C, and D are the common open space tracts and highlighted in green. The plat also dedicates the portion of right-of-way along Upham Street for the construction of public improvements. The large dedication at the southwest portion of the site allows the city to fully control Upham Street in this area, which was previously partially on private property. The right-of-way dedication is highlighted in red on the left side of the screen. Lastly, the plat dedicates easements which allow for distribution of utilities such as water and sanitation to each lot. These easements are being coordinated with the utility districts. Access easements are also being dedicated across Tract A, which allows blanket access for residents, guests, and emergency vehicles. A drainage easement between lots 8 and 9 will allow conveyance of water to the off-site detention pond on the Jefferson County Schools property to the east. The applicant has worked with the school district to coordinate shared use of an existing detention facility immediately east of the site. The school district has provided written consent to this arrangement and has no objections. Since Wheat Ridge is not a full-service city, we sent the application on referral to outside agencies, including fire, water, and sanitation, and completed an internal review. There are no remaining comments on this application, and both planning and engineering divisions have found the plat to be approvable. The site plan, which includes the architecture, landscaping, and site design, is also approvable. Construction documents are under review by the engineering division. Before the hearing, the property was posted for 15 days and letters were sent to property owners within a 600-foot radius of the site. Comments collected on Wheat Ridge Speaks will be reviewed by the Planning Commission and entered into the public record. Ultimately, staff has concluded the request complies with the zoning and development standards and is in substantial compliance with the city's architectural and site design manual. The plat complies with the subdivision regulations and all agencies can serve the property. The proposed plans will allow development of the site as allowed under the R3 zone district to proceed. For all of those reasons, staff recommends approval of the request. Planning Commission will need to make 2 motions, one on the Plan Building Group site plan and one on the plat, which will ultimately be reviewed by City Council. That concludes my presentation. Thank you.